Ambassador, thank you so much for speaking with us from Geneva. I want to start by asking, I believe you've been to North Korea about 6 times. What were you thinking as you watched President Trump become the first sitting U.S. president to step foot into North Korea?
Well, I have to say that this was a very historic day. It was the first summit arranged by tweet within 1 day. Secondly, the first sitting American president to step at North Korea. But, Kristen, my worry is the substance. In North Korea, Kim Jong-un, they've done nothing to denuclearize as they said they would. Hopefully his visit will restart talks that have been stalled, mainly by the North Koreans.
Critics have said that President Trump is simply raising the profile of a dictator without any hard concessions in return. But President Trump believes that, this could potentially be a real turning point in the negotiations, and that talking is a lot better than the alternative. Where do you stand on that side of the debate?
Well, I hate to sound like a politician, but I stand on both sides. We are legitimizing Kim Jong-un. We are putting him on the world stage. He used to be a pariah. Now an American president has gone to him. On the other hand, it's good that two leaders like both of them, in a state of hostility, have a personal relationship. The problem, though, Kristen, is that Kim Jong-un's negotiators are not ready to meet Kim Jong-un's initial concession, which was, we're going to denuclearize. In fact, they've done very little, hardly anything. So I think if we get talks started again, the president should let his team lead, not have another summit until the North Koreans start to denuclearize. And then the compromise is we give them some sanctions relief. They do some nuclear curbing the use of their nuclear missiles, and we do some sanctions, and then we continue negotiating. That's a good outcome. But right now I worry there's too much showmanship. It's a historic day. That is the case. Bizarre diplomacy, but...
I was going to say, as incredible and historic and almost hard to believe as some of those images are that we were just watching, as you said, everything hinges on what happens next. And I'd like to play a clip of what President Trump said right after the meeting about what his pitch was to Kim Jong-un. Listen here.
I outlined the incredible prosperity that awaits North Korea when this whole thing gets settled. They've been talking about this for a long time, but that's a country with tremendous potential. And I've had a good relationship with Chairman Kim. You know that. You see what's happening.
President Trump pushed that economic prosperity argument in Singapore, in Hanoi, and now in North Korea, right at the DMZ line. How effective is that argument going to be with somebody like Kim Jong-un, in your opinion?
Well, what Kim Jong-un has said, he's willing to reduce his nuclear weapons if he gets U.S. investment, international assistance, because it's the poorest nation on earth. They are hurting a lot by sanctions, not just by the U.S., but almost the entire international community. So Kim Jong-un, after Hanoi, looked very bad when the talks broke up. But I think the president has to be firm. He's got to say, you promised to denuclearize, take some serious steps, because you've done nothing so far. It's good that they have a personal relationship, that the talks are going to resume, I think, in July. But there's got to be concessions on both sides so that talks have some significant positive not just handshakes and a lot of show. Yes, a historic day. But let there be substance, not just show.
Ambassador, one more question. I've got 10 seconds. President Trump raised the idea that Kim Jong-un could visit the White House. Good idea or bad idea?
Well, not a good idea right now. Let him deliver on denuclearization. Let him do something. That would be another historic day, but dangle that out there. Don't give it up early.